Before I died, I finally uncovered the secret my wife had hidden for years. She was the player assigned to win me over. As soon as my affection for her reached zero, the system would forcibly erase her. But to avenge her childhood sweetheart, she locked me in the basement like a madwoman and subjected me to a series of inhuman tortures. First, she gouged out one of my eyes. Red liquid gushed out, covering my entire face. When she saw me screaming in pain, she acted as if she hadn't heard a thing. With a sinister, icy smile on her face. You brought this on yourself. You deserve every bit of it. Fang Yuan, death would be too good for you. She raised her knife and thrust it at me. Just as I felt death was moments away, I suddenly heard her inner voice. Warning, the target, Fang Yuan, is about to reach zero affection. Host by Ningbing. Acquire affection immediately. Otherwise, the system will erase you. In the dim basement, I curled up in a corner, with chains around my wrist and ankles. I hadn't eaten properly for several days, and after Bai Ningbing's torture, I no longer had even the slightest strength left. To avenge her precious childhood sweetheart, she drugged me with sleeping pills when I wasn't looking. After I drank it, I fell into endless sleep. When I woke up, I was already chained inside a dark basement. Through the haze, I saw a tall figure walking toward me. A cold smile tugged at her lips and sent a chill through me. The next second, she reached out and seized my hair. She pulled with tremendous force. I could feel her fingernails digging into my scalp. Fang Yuan, you have such a cruel heart. I told you. Once I married you, I belonged to you. Why did you still attack and land? What did he ever do to you? She grabbed my head and slammed it against the wall. The violent pain forced a scream from me. I didn't do it. I didn't poison him. You invited him to our gathering that day. I even went out of my way to cook the meal myself. We all ate the same food. So, why was he the only one who got sick? I swear, I didn't poison anyone. I raised my head and glared at her, but she only let out a cold laugh. Do you really think I'll believe you? You clearly poisoned Inlan's plate and no one else's, and you still want to deny it. I grew up with Inlan. He always took care of me. When we were children, my family was poor, and I was their only daughter. The neighborhood children often bullied me, and Inlan always stood up for me. My father was an alcoholic who liked to beat me, and Inlan was the one who protected me. Inlan finally graduated with his master's degree. He was about to enter the workforce and begin a bright future. Why did you have to cruelly destroy Inlan's future? Since you're so cruel, I'll make you pay the price too. She picked up a pair of pliers from the floor and seized my hand. I tried to struggle, but I had no strength at all. I could only watch helplessly as she used the iron pliers to grip my nails and nail beds and pull them out one by one. I couldn't stop my blood-curdling screams. Blood from both hands pooled on the floor, yet a cold voice still rang in my ears. Fang Yuan, let me tell you, this is only an appetizer. The real surprises are still to come. My consciousness began to fade as I recalled the days gone by. By Ningbing and I met in high school. I noticed her from the very beginning. She excelled in school, but came from a poor family and was often bullied. Sometimes Lam would stand up for Bai Ningbing, defending her in public. But what she didn't know was that I was the one secretly solving all her problems. My grades were mediocre, and everyone called me a bad student. My teachers often told me it wasn't too late to turn my life around, and getting into college wouldn't be a problem, but I had no interest in any of it. Once, and Lang cursed at a female classmate to defend Bai Ningbing. The girl immediately called her gangster brother, who brought several men to surround Lan. They also threatened to teach Bai Ningbing a lesson, and Lan was trembling with fear, too afraid to leave the classroom. I was the one who charged outside and drove those gangsters away. Bai Ningbing's father drank and gambled, while her mother despised her for being a girl. Her mother often muttered it was all Bai Ningbing's fault, that money-draining burden, who had ruined my health. So, while attending high school, she worked part-time to support herself. My family, on the other hand, was fairly well off, so I often secretly slipped money into her desk. At first, Bai Ningbing would ask who had left it, but as time passed, no one ever admitted to it. Bai Ningbing always assumed the money came from Lan, and I never told her that I was behind it all. Back then, in high school, I was young and hot-blooded and full of confidence. I loved being an unsung hero. I thought it made me look cool, never realizing I was only paving the way for someone else. By my final year of high school, with college entrance exams approaching, I learned that Bai Ningbing planned to attend a top-tier project to 111 University. From then on, I started studying hard. Even my mother exclaimed in surprise, "Our ancestors must be smiling down on us. You actually started studying." My homeroom teacher and classmates stared at me as if I were a monster. After a year of hard work, my grades improved by leaps and bounds. I got my wish and entered the same university as Bai Ningbing. On the day we held the celebration dinner, I invited Bai Ningbing over and took the cash gifts from my father's relatives, 30,000 yuan in total, and gave every bit of it to Bai Ningbing. I knew that after she got into college, her family had not only refused to support her father had also beaten her, saying college would only waste the family's money. They couldn't afford to educate her, and ordered her to find a job immediately. Bai Ningbing initially refused, but I insisted she take it. I smiled and told her, I like the idea of attending the same university as you. I hope we'll see each other on campus next semester. During our first year of college, I took care of Bai Ningbing in every way. Finally, at the end of our first semester, on a snowy night after evening study, Bai Ningbing asked if I liked her. I nodded and confessed my feelings. Bai Ningbing accepted my confession. From then on, we loved and relied on each other. By the year we graduated, we got married. My family bought us a villa in the city where we went to college. I once thought we were happy, but it had all been nothing more than my own fantasy. Through the haze, another sharp pain struck, jerking me awake. I looked up and saw Bai Ningbing supporting a frail figure. As they came into view, I slowly opened my eyes. Blood clouded my vision, making the two figures before me blurry. It took a while before I could make out their faces. My wife brought her beloved childhood sweetheart before me. Her beloved childhood sweetheart was deathly pale and looked extremely weak. I faintly heard a voice. Brother and Lan, I've already avenged you. This isn't enough. Not nearly enough. My liver and stomach are severely damaged. The doctor says I'll need medication to survive the rest of my life. He ruined my entire life. Though his voice was weak, he sounded agitated. Brother and Lan, calm down. The doctor said you need to rest. She thoughtfully brought over a wheelchair and helped her beloved childhood friend sit down. I watched the scene before me and murmured, I didn't poison him. I didn't poison anyone. Call the police. Let them investigate, and you'll know who did it. And Lan glared at me viciously. What's the point of calling the police now? Look what I've become. Can the police give me back my healthy body? I want him to pay with his life. He grew agitated again and wheeled himself toward me. But my wife, Bai Ningbing, stopped him. Brother and Lan, let me do it. She came right up to me, close enough for me to hear her breathing. But at that moment, she looked like a stranger to me. If I hadn't reached out to her and led her out of the abyss, step by step, who knew what would have become of her? I had devoted myself completely to her. When it was cold, I gave her extra clothes to keep warm. During her monthly period, I'd make her brown sugar ginger tea. When she was bullied in the dormitory, I ignored everyone's strange looks and rushed in to protect her. Every little moment flashed through my mind. She grabbed my hair and forced me to look up at her. Our eyes met, and she said coldly, you brought all of this on yourself. I gave myself to you. I love you too. So why couldn't you tolerate Brother and Lan's existence? Her expression gradually grew frantic. She pulled a small knife from her clothing and drove it straight into my thigh. A piercing pain tore through me. I let out a blood-curdling scream. Blood gushed from my thigh, and Lan's voice came from behind me. That's right. I want to watch him scream in pain. Only then will I get my revenge. I told you not to take advantage of my love and do whatever you please. Even jealousy has its limits. As Bai Ningbing spoke, she pulled the knife out again and quickly plunged it into my other thigh. The excruciating pain finally overwhelmed me, and I passed out. In my fever dream, I saw Bai Ningbing beneath the dappled shadows of the campus trees. She walked toward me in a white dress. A warm, radiant smile lit up her face. Her hands were clasped behind her back. Sunlight spilled across her face, making her look dazzling. Suddenly, she brought her hands from behind her back and held out a bouquet of flowers. Fang Yuan, these flowers are for you. Back then, I pretended to be disdainful and said, what boy would like flowers? But inside, I was filled with warmth. Bai Ningbing pouted and said with a hint of displeasure, who says boys can't like flowers? That's just society's prejudice. I was deeply moved. From that moment on, I knew this was the girl for me. Suddenly, a basin of cold water splashed across my face, waking me instantly. I focused my eyes and saw Lan throw the basin to the floor. It hit with a sharp clang that made my eardrums vibrate. The icy water quickly soaked my entire body, but was followed by a bone-deep pain. The pain came in countless tiny stabs, not like the pain of a single stab, confined to one place. This pain spread across my entire body. I lifted my eyes and stared at Lan. Bai Ningbing wasn't beside him now. He was alone in the basement. He glared at me furiously, with a cold, twisted look in his eyes. Fang Yuan, you know Ningbing and I have been childhood sweethearts since we were little. If everything had gone according to my plan, Ningbing and I would have married, had 2 children, and lived happily as a family of 4. So, why did you have to interfere? You ruined Ningbing's and my beautiful future. His teeth clenched, and his expression became vicious. I stared at him and couldn't help but sneer. Live happily with you. You're nothing but a coward. You don't even have the courage to protect Ningbing. What right do you have to talk about a happy life? Ha. When Bai Ningbing was bullied and surrounded, and Lan received word, but made an excuse and hid in the restroom. If I hadn't shown up, Bai Ningbing's life would have been 100 times worse than this. My laughter struck a nerve within Lan, and Lan instantly became enraged. He drew a knife and glared at me viciously. You have a lot to say, don't you? I'll cut out your tongue and see how much you can talk then. He wheeled himself toward me, while I was bound in chains, with both legs injured as well. I was like a trapped animal, with no way to escape. The cruel smile on Enlan's face grew wider and wider. Once you've lost your tongue, let's see how you'll sweet talk your way out of this. Without a tongue, how could Ningbing ever care about a useless piece of trash like you? Once I kill you, Ningbing and I can live happily together forever. He thrust the knife toward my mouth. Its cold glint set my nerves on edge. Seeing the smug look on Enlan's face filled me with fury. I let out an enraged roar. Enlan flinched in shock and seemed unable to react. He was extremely close to me. At last, without hesitation, I sank my teeth into his face. He let out a scream of agony. In his panic, his knife stabbed into my arm. But in my heightened state, I barely felt the pain. All I wanted was revenge. And Lan couldn't take it anymore and screamed in agony. It hurts. Ningbing, come save me. Like the coward he was, he kept calling for help. Let me go. Please, let go of me. His pleading voice rang out, but I refused to release him. Looking at his cowardly state, I found him both pitiful and pathetic. I could already taste the metallic tang of blood. Soon, the commotion alerted someone who came running over, and Lan heard the hurried footsteps and looked as though his savior had arrived. He let out a piercing cry. Save me, Ningbing. Hurry and save me. Ningbing rushed over and grabbed my hair, trying to pull us apart, but I refused to let go. In the end, I bit a chunk of flesh from Enlan's face. I spat the stinking piece of flesh onto the floor. Enlan covered his face with one hand and screamed, my face. I've been disfigured. Ningbing, kill him for me. I want him to pay with his life. Enlan shouted hysterically. Ningbing looked at him with concern. Brother Enlan, how are you? I'll take you to the hospital first. I don't want to go to the hospital. I want to watch you kill him with my own eyes. Kill him. Enlan was utterly frantic, but Ningbing stood motionless, looking completely indifferent. Enlan glanced at her. Ningbing, don't tell me you still like this murderer. Jealousy seeped into his voice. Brother Enlan, don't worry. I'll avenge you. Tell me, do you like him? And Lan wanted a clear answer. I do like him, but that won't stop me from avenging you. He ruined you, so I'll ruin him too. Ningbing said this while looking at me. Hearing that, I laughed coldly to myself. Then, what am I to you? And Lan asked, you're my brother, closer to me than my own brother. I won't let anyone hurt you. Now let me take you to the hospital. She pushed Lan's wheelchair outside. About 2 hours later, they returned together. Meanwhile, with the knife still lodged in my arm, blood slowly seeped from my arm, and I had lost too much blood. By then, I was barely able to move. I struggled to look at them. Ningbing let go of the wheelchair and hurried over to me. She pulled the knife from my arm and bandaged my arm with gauze. Fang Yuan, I only wanted to avenge brother Enlan and vent his anger for him. I never meant to take your life. Her pupils dilated, and her voice gradually took on a twisted edge. You'd better stay alive for me. I looked at that face. So familiar, yet so terribly strange. I spat a mouthful of bloody phlegm onto her face. Blood stained her face, making her features instantly more hideous. Ningbing raised a hand and wiped away the blood. Her gaze grew increasingly twisted. Brother Enlan is here now. I'll cut off your fingers to avenge him. Bear with it. I stared at her, with a cold smile tugging at my lips. In an instant, a chill spread through my entire body, and despair engulfed my heart. At the same time, I clearly heard Ningbing's inner voice. Warning, the target, Fang Yuan, is about to reach 0 affection. Host Ningbing, increase his affection immediately, or the system will eliminate you. I gazed at Ningbing, but Ningbing looked completely unconcerned. After I cut off your fingers, you'll kneel and apologize to brother Enlan. If he forgives you, I'll release you at once. Warning, the target Fang Yuan's affection has reached 0. The host will be eliminated. Countdown beginning. The host may choose to return to high school, but she will not retain any memories from this timeline. Faintly, I heard a panicked voice shouting, hurry, go back. Quickly. When I woke again, the class bell was ringing beside me. I opened my eyes in confusion and stared at everything familiar before me. Back then, I loved causing trouble and rarely paid attention in class, so the teacher had assigned me to the last row, near the trash can. Ningbing sat in one of the first 3 rows and was the English class representative. The teachers liked her very much, and Lan sat behind Ningbing, and the two were very close. I remember that Ningbing's alcoholic father had come to the school and caused a scene several times. He said he had already accepted a bride price from someone in the village and wanted Ningbing to drop out and go home to marry. The situation became extremely serious. The teachers tried to stop him and eventually called the police, but nothing worked. After all, it was someone else's family affair. The incident caused a huge stir at school, and Lan rushed forward to intervene and urged Ningbing's father to go home instead of causing trouble at school. He said it was creating a bad impression. Ningbing's father raised his hand and slapped Lan across the face. The blow split his lip and drew blood. Ningbing's father eventually slunk away in humiliation before everyone's eyes. After Ningbing's father caused a few more scenes, he never came back. Everyone wondered what had happened, and Lan suddenly stepped forward, claiming he had reasoned with Ningbing's father and appealed to his emotions and persuaded him to leave. But what nobody knew was that I had stopped by Ningbing's father in an alley and thoroughly beaten him several times. That was also when I came to understand by Ningbing's father for the kind of man he really was. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say he drank, womanized, gambled, and indulged in every vice. He beat his wife and children, as though it were perfectly routine. That was also when I came to understand the kind of family Bai Ningbing had grown up in. When I was young, I thought I was a savior, a hero, who could rescue everyone. But looking back now, it was nothing but my misguided savior complex. If I hadn't done all those things back then, how could someone have repaid my kindness with betrayal and dragged me into the abyss? After the class bell rang, Bai Ningbing walked in wearing simple clothes. She sat at her desk and reached inside for her homework, only to find her desk filled with trash. She stood and looked around. Who threw trash into my desk? Everyone's eyes turned toward Bai Ningbing. I watched coldly. Bai Ningbing looked helpless, and Lang quickly said, "Ningbing, class is starting. We'll report this to the teacher together later." Bai Ningbing glanced at me, as if waiting for my reaction. I remained in my original seat and yawned, preparing to sleep. I sneered coldly to myself. Did she really still think I would step forward and be her shield? At the lunch break, and Lan took Bai Ningbing to report the matter to the teacher. Afterward, Bai Ningbing suddenly came to find me. "Fang Yuan, can we talk outside?" Her voice was quiet. I glanced at her. "About what?" "Whatever you have to say. Say it here." "Fang Yuan. You call me Fang Yuan? Are we close? Who do you think you are?" I stood up abruptly. I towered over her by more than a head, and immediately overpowered her with my presence. Fear drained some of the color from her face, and Lan suddenly appeared. "Fang Yuan, that's enough. What kind of man bullies a female classmate?" My gaze shifted to him. Without a word, I raised my hand and slapped him, and Lan stood dazed for several seconds. I didn't pause, and slapped him again, caught off guard by the blow, and Lan burst into tears. "I don't bully women, but there's nothing wrong with hitting a piece of trash like you, right?" I said coldly. I already had a terrible reputation in class, and everyone saw me as a thug. Bai Ningbing looked at me, her expression shifting between anger and uncertainty, her lips moving as though she wanted to say something. But I ignored her. Something shifted in the way she looked at me. She was probably curious about why my attitude toward her had changed. I left the classroom and walked outside. Before long, a girl approached me. She was from the class next door. Her name was Ruyan. She wore thick, black-rimmed glasses and looked a little dazed. She had run over, drenched in sweat. "Here. This is for you." "Fang Yuan." She handed me a lunchbox. I stared at her for a moment. I suddenly remembered that back in high school, this girl seemed to have feelings for me. Her grades were excellent, putting her on par with Bai Ningbing. Most of the time, Ruyan actually ranked ahead of her. But later, Ruyan seemed to transfer schools after someone spread a sexual rumor about her, and the person who started that rumor was none other than Bai Ningbing. I accepted Ruyan's lunchbox and thanked her. Ruyan looked at me, visibly surprised. "You," she stammered, unable to get the words out. But at that moment, her speech suddenly became clear. "A classmate from your class is here. I should go." Ruyan turned and ran off. I watched her retreating figure and found myself lost in thought for several seconds. Before long, Bai Ningbing's voice sounded behind me. "Fang Yuan, is there some misunderstanding between us?" I turned and stared at Bai Ningbing. Seeing her saintly, innocent Fuade filled me with utter disgust. Memories of the past rose in my mind. Anger quickly surged through me as well. "Bitch, why are you still pretending? Now that I've returned, I will have my revenge. I will personally destroy this so-called pure little saint. I once gave her hope, and now I will destroy that hope in exactly the same way." "Bai Ningbing, just you wait." I sized her up, then looked away. "A misunderstanding? Don't read too much into it. There is no misunderstanding between us." A flicker of delight appeared in Bai Ningbing's eyes. "Really? Of course, there is no misunderstanding between us, because we are genuine enemies." Thinking back on the things Bai Ningbing had done, many of them were incredibly manipulative. She had deliberately put on a show in front of me every time. But back then, I was blinded by what I wanted to believe. Caught up in it all, I couldn't see the truth. The smile on her face deepened. "Then what were you and Ruyan talking about just now?" "Nothing. I plan to take my studies seriously and wanted her to tutor me." "Tutor you? Why go looking so far away when I'm right here?" "I can tutor you too," she said with a smile. "You tutor me. I doubt you'll have the time." I replied indifferently. "Why wouldn't I have time? I have plenty of time." I didn't stay to listen to her nonsense. I made up an excuse and walked away. I found a secluded spot and had a quick meal. Then I washed the lunchbox until it was spotless and returned it to Ruyan. When Ruyan received the lunchbox, she looked bashful in a way that touched me deeply. "I plan to work hard at my studies. Will you tutor me when you have time?" Her cheeks instantly flushed red. She looked up at me and adjusted her glasses. "Sure. Then I'll take care of your meals and school supplies from now on. Whatever you want to eat or use, just let me know. No need. I already have all those things. The money my family gives me for living expenses and spending money is more than enough, Liu Ruyan said. Liu Ruyan's parents were both academics. Her family was more than 100 times better than by Ningbing's. She was never short of money either. What your family gives you is yours. What I give you is from me. You'll do as I say, I said with a smile. Liu Ruyan obediently nodded. Okay. After Liu Ruyan and I finished making arrangements, I left the school soon afterward. I knew Bai Ningbing's father had caused trouble at the school for a day or two, and still hadn't gone home. He was staying at a cheap inn that cost 20 or 30 yuan a night. I arranged for someone to take Bai Ningbing's father out to have a good time, then urged him to hurry back to the school to cause Bai Ningbing more trouble. Under my arrangements, it wasn't long before Bai Ningbing's father ran up another gambling debt. Pressured by loan sharks, Bai Ningbing's father returned to the school to cause another scene. Once again, the whole city was thrown into an uproar. Bai Ningbing cried at school every day, while Lan comforted her. Watching the sinister look on that bastard in Lan's face, I decided not to show him any mercy. I soon arranged a trap for that bastard, and Lan. On the surface, he looked like an upright gentleman, but in reality, he was very interested in sex. I set a trap for him, and arranged for him to meet a woman from outside the school. That woman quickly toyed with Lan, treating him like a dog. His grades began to plummet, and he started skipping class regularly. The teacher summoned his parents to school several times. His father had a violent temper. Right in front of the teacher, he rolled up his sleeves and went straight to beating him. And Lan wailed in agony. Listening to those screams, I knew this was only the beginning. That afternoon, Liu Ruyan and I sat on the athletic field studying. Bai Ningbing suddenly approached, looking haggard. When Liu Ruyan saw Bai Ningbing, she prepared to leave. I took her hand and pulled her back down. A blush immediately spread across Liu Ruyan's cheeks. Bai Ningbing's face grew even paler. Liu Ruyan, could you leave for a moment? I need to speak with Fang Yuan alone. Liu Ruyan softly murmured, oh. She was about to get up and leave. That girl was simply too kind, just as I once was. I pulled Liu Ruyan back down again. You don't need to leave. I kept hold of Liu Ruyan's hand. I chuckled softly and looked at Bai Ningbing. Whatever you have to say it here. Bai Ningbing's expression shifted. She was clearly embarrassed, but eventually seemed to make up her mind. Fang Yuan, didn't I say I could tutor you too? Huan is tutoring me, so that's enough, I said. Bai Ningbing looked at Liu Ruyan. Did she say something bad about me behind my back? Is that why you believe her now? She isn't a good girl, you know. Before Bai Ningbing could finish, I interrupted her. Are you finished? Then you can leave, Liu Ruyan said, sounding her classmate Bai. I didn't say anything bad about you. How could you not have? Fang Yuan clearly had feelings for me. So, how did he suddenly become so close to you? I stared at Bai Ningbing, speechless. Are you delusional? When did I ever have feelings for you? A saying suddenly came to mind. You should never feed a dog too well, or you never know when it might bite the hand that feeds it. I have fed that dog, Bai Ningbing, too well. I made her arrogant and contemptuous of everyone. She forgot where she had started, and forgot how much I had done to pull her from the abyss, and what it had cost me. You clearly had feelings for me. You're insane, I snapped. Huan, let's go. Bai Ningbing suddenly went mad and charged toward us. She even grabbed and pulled at Liu Ruyan. This is all your fault. You seduced Fang Yuan. You wicked woman. The commotion was getting out of hand. Worried it would affect Liu Ruyan badly, I told her to leave first. Then I dragged Bai Ningbing aside. She stared at me. Fang Yuan, you let her leave. That means you still have feelings for me, right? My father owes someone 50,000 yuan. I know your family is wealthy. Could you please help me? From now on, whatever you ask me to do, I'll do it. She gave me an obvious hint. I let out a cold laugh. Sorry, I'm not interested in you. I looked at her coldly. Inside, hatred raged through me, but I forced it down. Bai Ningbing didn't come to school the next day. The teacher said Bai Ningbing's mother had fallen ill, so she left after receiving a phone call. But I knew the truth. Bai Ningbing's father had made up the story to deceive her. Her mother played along. All along, her mother had wanted her to marry early and have children. This was the perfect opportunity. After Bai Ningbing was tricked into going home, her father accepted 60,000 yuan in bride price and immediately handed her over to an old bachelor from the neighboring village. The bachelor hadn't touched a woman in many years. I heard that after Bai Ningbing was married off, she was kept locked inside the house. Every day, people outside the house could hear Bai Ningbing's anguished screams. Later, Bai Ningbing seized an opportunity and found me. She asked to meet me. When I saw Bai Ningbing again, I was deeply surprised. There was no color in Bai Ningbing's face, and she looked utterly pitiful. Her clothes were torn and ragged, and I had no idea how many wounds covered her body. They looked as though she had been whipped with a belt. Fang Yuan, please save me. Why are you asking me? Why not ask your dear Lan for help? I can't help you, I said coldly. Bai Ningbing knew Lan couldn't help her, but I could. When I used to fight for her, I was absolutely ruthless. Even the gangsters outside school feared me. She knew I had ways to deal with things. Unfortunately for her, those methods would now be used only against her, because I wanted that wretched woman to pay the price. He can't help me. Fang Yuan, please save me. If you save me, I'll give myself to you right now. She threw herself at me and kept stripping off her clothes. I staggered back several steps, completely speechless. Huan, have you seen enough? Come out already. When Bai Ningbing asked to meet me alone, I invited Liu Ruyan to come along, but Liu Ruyan said she would wait nearby. As it happened, Liu Ruyan witnessed the whole scene. The moment Liu Ruyan stepped out, Bai Ningbing's face turned bright red, and her pupils widened. She looked completely stunned. She let out a shrill scream, as though she had been driven over the edge. She turned and ran. I watched her retreating back, with a cold smile tugging at my lips. She hadn't run far, when two men suddenly rushed out and seized her. Those two men were her father and the old bachelor, who was now her husband. They dragged her away. Her agonized screams continued to ring in my ears. Meanwhile, that woman had Lan completely under her control, drawing him close, then pushing him away. And Lan could no longer endure the temptation and torment, and tried to force himself on her. The girl didn't hesitate for a second. She immediately reported him to the authorities. The authorities took Lan away and charged him. And Lan was already 18, so he was sent to prison. I remember the moment Lan was taken away from school, when countless people gathered to watch. At first, no one knew what he had done, but I spread the news. Everyone immediately held him in contempt, and countless people cursed him viciously. Bai Ningbing was taken back to her hometown to live with the old man. I heard she escaped several more times, but was caught and brought back each time. Her father remained just as addicted to gambling as ever. After losing money, he planned to bring Bai Ningbing back and sell her to someone else. The old bachelor would never allow that. He stormed to Bai Ningbing's home and wrestled with her father. In the end, Bai Ningbing and her mother rushed in to help her father fight and stabbed the old bachelor several times. The old bachelor died at the scene, while all three members of Bai Ningbing's family were sent to prison. During that time, Liu Ruyan and I studied hard together. After the college entrance examination, we submitted our university choices together. Our grades were far better than before. On the day the results were released, I visited Bai Ningbing in prison. The instant Bai Ningbing saw me, her eyes brightened. Her hair had been cut short, and she looked utterly haggard. I stared at her. She said, "Fang Yuan, I knew you'd come to see me." She began to sob miserably. Her eyes rimmed with red. I said to her, "I came to see you. You're happy, aren't you?" She nodded repeatedly. "Yes, you came to see me. I'm so happy. I never thought you'd come." "Yes, I have good news for you." "What good news?" She stared at me. I chuckled softly. Liu Ruyan and I both did very well on the college entrance examination. We both got into an excellent university, the very same one. At those words, she bit her lip tightly and tried to speak. I didn't wait for her to finish. And I confessed my feelings to her last night. She accepted my confession, and we're together now. I burst out laughing when I finished. After hearing this, Bai Ningbing suddenly let out a piercing scream. Her eyes gradually turned wild. Why are you telling me this? To make you suffer." I threw those words over my shoulder and walked out without looking back. Her shrill screams continued behind me. She had clearly lost control of her emotions, but I refused to hear them. Outside the prison, Liu Ruyan was waiting for me at the entrance. I hurried over and took Liu Ruyan's hand. We exchanged a glance, and a shy blush spread across her face. "I think we'll be happy